For our soft tissue work to target the muscles through the groin, we're going to take a heavy object. It could be half of a barbell, half of a heavy roller, something that has some weight and pressure. I'm going to lift it up, press it into the groin, and then use the weight of the object to help roll into the groin and the hips. Now, I can also use a roller pinned across to hit that same muscle group using my own body weight and work some hip rotation out of that rollout position. As we switch to the glutes, similar to the hip flexors, we want to get through the tissue, so we need something to help work more of a trigger point. We're going to use a lacrosse ball for this one. Pin the lacrosse ball into the glute. Also helps if you cross over the top. And now I can work into the glute and the hip, pressing in with more pressure from that trigger point. So for this pretzel stretch exercise, what we're going to do is lay back, pull the knee up to 90 degrees, bring it across the body, and then I'm going to pull this leg back, and now I'm holding this position. I'm going to pin the knee down. I'm going to take a deep breath and try to open through the spine into the hips, and relax as I breathe out. Breathe in, drive back into the ground, relax and breathe out. Holding for about 5 seconds with each rep. The next exercise in our hip alignment series, we're going to take a PVC pipe and thread it through the legs. So I'm here and here, and what I'm going to do is drive this knee this way, drive this knee this way. So I'm moving the hips in opposite directions. I'm going to press into it and fire, hold it, hold it, hold it, and relax. I would then switch and perform the same exercise threaded through the other side. Set and press, pressing into it, hold it, and relax. After working in that plane of motion, I'm then going to bring a roller or a yoga block, something I can squeeze in the middle. So I'm now pinning the roller between the knees, a good base with my feet. I'm going to tighten the core and then squeeze into the hips, trying to smash the roller and create tension. Relax. The final exercise for our hip alignment is we're going to take a gray band, step all the way into the band, bands around the waist, kind of walk it out so it has tension. I'm going to let my hips dip back and then press forward and squeeze, hold, locking out the glutes before I tip the hips back and reset to the start position. I'm trying to tilt the pelvis as I lock forward, hold it, and relax to tip it back. For this hamstring and groin series, we're going to work a double band knotted together. Great use for old bands that you might be using for speed work or different activities kind of once they're past their prime in the weight room. So we have a knot on the band. We're going to hook it underneath the bench, and then I'm going to lay back onto the bench and get set up, positioning my feet into the band. From here, I'm pressing the top. Notice I have the band tracking over my shoulders to help hold it in the start position. I'm going to alternate and kick down, always resetting both legs here in the middle at the top. Keeping the core tight. Low back is also pinned to the bench, so I can focus on kicking and controlling the hamstring down and up. From there, I'm going to open into circles, so I'm going to open out wide, bring it in, back through the top, opening through the hips, and then I will reverse it Same thing on the hips, but take it in the opposite direction. For our mini band hip series, we're going to work several different variations. I'll demonstrate each one for a few yards so you get the full idea of this little circuit, but I'm going to start good knee bend position, low right from here, lateral walk, step together, keeping tension on the band for the full duration of the set as I work out and back. Once I'm reset, I'm going to spin this way. Band is still under tension. I'm going to widen it out. Like I'm trying to keep my feet lined up on train tracks. Again, from a knee bend position. Now I'm going to walk forward, holding the tension, keeping the feet out wide on the tracks, and then reverse it, working the same exercise out wide, coming backwards. The next variation we're going to do is a monster walk. I'm going to bring the hips in and out. So on this one, I will let off tension. Band is tension in and out. So it kind of comes together, and I open, stepping to the side. I will then retrace it in and out, kicking back, working to the outside. For the final variation, I'm going to stagger my stance. Toes pointed straight ahead. Knee bend from here. Keeping tension on the band. Stepping heel to toe. Forward. And working backwards. Keeping the band under tension. I will then reset. Flip the stagger in the other direction to complete the drill. For the hip hurdle series, we're going to work several different exercises, different combinations of hip muscles. The important thing is that every single movement is slow and controlled. So I'm going to start by going in and out the window. From here, I'm going to squeeze the glute back and then roll it forward. Slow and controlled, fighting to stay tall, bringing it all the way through and back down. And I'm going to drive up to the front, open, lift the heel up high, control, resetting back to the start. Once I complete my reps there, I'm going to work to the side. Knee is going to drive up, and I'm going to try to reach into the window, lock it out through the hip, bring it back to that tall hip drive position. Raise up, reach to the side, lock it out, reset back to the middle. For the final version, we're going to work towards the front. Knee drive up, reach out with the hip and the hamstring, pull it back, reset to the bottom. Lift up, reach, pull it back, and down. The final exercise in our hurdle hip series, hurdle unders. So I've now raised the hurdle to a high position. I'm going to step and reach, and then squat down as low as I can and roll underneath the hurdle. Again, step my foot out long and reach, rolling underneath the hurdle. For the all four hip series, we're going to start from a kneeling position, but position the knees out wide. Then from this position, I'm going to rock back into the groin and the hips, press them back forward, and lock out. Sit back, stretch down the middle, press forward, and lock out. Once I complete my reps, I'm going to back the hands back just a little bit, and now work rotating up and to the side. The next exercise in the series, I'm going to rotate the hips, lifting the heels off the ground and turning the hips inside, relaxing back to the bottom. Once I complete those double leg variations, I'll reset and then work into some more single leg exercises. So now I'm going knees positioned under the hips, arms locked out underneath the shoulders. I'm going to open the hip, rotate back and squeeze the glute, open to the side, and bring it back down. That would be 1 rep. Again, open, rotate it back, open it out, control back down. As I complete that variation, I'm going this leg out to the side, leg raise, straight leg, raise up, control it down. Raise up, control it down. Into circles, raise up, circling through the hip, and reverse in the opposite direction. Widening back out, I can work single leg, rocking back into the hips and groin, even the inside of the hamstring. And finish with 1 more set of rotations, stretching across and opening up. The right leg is out, so the right arm is reaching and rotating. We're going to run through several exercises in our 90-90 hip routine. The first one being some isometrics and hover style exercises where we're holding tension and holding the leg up in different positions. From the first one, I'm going to start here. Keep the core tight, lean slightly forward, and I'm going to lift up. Hold, 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 and control on the way back down. For the next variation, I'm going to work to the other side. So I'm actually going to cross this leg up over the top. From this position, again, I'm trying to hold my posture here, and I'm going to lift this leg now off of my foot and my leg. Relax it back down. If I start bending the down leg up, I have instantly made this exercise harder to lift up and hold through the hip. Now working into the 90-90 position. 90 degrees off the back, squared through the hip. 90 degrees from the front. I got 1 hand on the shin, one hand on my side to brace for balance. Core's tight. I'm going to lean forward and stretch into the glute. Once I'm at a good stretch point into the glute, I'm going to hold it for an extended period of time. At the end of the hold, I'm going to drive this leg into the ground like I'm trying to rotate it out. So holding from here. Now I'm going to press this leg down, press down and hold tension. Hold it, hold it, hold it, about 10 seconds, and then relax and sit just a little bit deeper. As I complete it, I'll raise up to a tall position and now fire off of the back hip. So from this tall position, I'm now driving down this into the ground and squeeze, hold, 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 and relax. For the next exercise, I'm going to work rollovers. So from the 90-90 rollover position, I can use my hands for balance or fight to hold and control my core down the middle. Very slow and controlled. I'm going to lift up, roll all the way across, fighting to stay up tall, reset in the 90-90 position, and then slow and controlled, roll it back, fighting to keep my chest up tall until I'm squared back into the start. The next exercise that we will do is a back leg hip rotation. So I'm holding my position tall again, tall back, tall chest, rotating into the hip, hold it, hold it, hold it, relax it back down. Tall back, tall chest, rotate the hip, hold, 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 relax back down. As I complete that exercise, I'm going to keep the chest up, stay in the same tall position, go to a heel tap, where I'm raising up through the hip, tap the heel, knee down, foot down. fighting to keep that tall back and tall chest. Same thing, reset to 90-90, lift up, tap the heel, pull it back, knee, foot, reset back to the start. This is a yoga-based series of stretches. We're going to work out of a flow hip routine. Starting in the 90-90 position, I will roll over, lift up, swing this leg around, leaning on the hip flexor, squeeze the glute, stretch the hip, rock back, stretch the hamstring, press forward, and now I'm going to lean and smash down onto the ankle so I get some ankle mobility from here. I will then step up into a squat, open the hips in the sumo squat position, reset, rotate up with the right hand, bring it back, the inside leg steps back, returning to the tall position. Now I'm going to take this leg, swing it back around, roll over, lift up, swing it out, and continue to repeat on this side. This is a band, hip, and groin recovery series of stretches, really focusing more on flexibility. I'm going to take the band, work it behind my back, and then pull it so it hooks over the knee. Pull the band the other way, hooked over the knee, and then I'm going to use a wall, in this case a pillar, to be able to elevate my feet up to the wall. And now the band is going to work and open the hips. So I'm now holding this elevated stretch with the band assistance, opening the groin and the hips. After holding this for an extended period of time, scoot back to more of a 90-degree position. I'm now going to take this leg, cross it over, and the band is going to open into the hip and the glute. Same idea, I'm holding this stretch for an extended period of time, then switching, resetting to the wall. This leg now comes across, and I let the hip open to the other side.